Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 7 in the 2019 NOFSRL Haas IndyCar Series. We're here at the Kansas Speedway in the greatest month on the motorsports calendar, the month of May. And this is going to be a great month on Napa Fan as well. 2 weeks from now, it's the biggest and grandest race on Napa Fan, the Indianapolis 250. These 30 IndyCar drivers will join 3 other guys for that event. And it's going to be very, very fun 2 weeks from now. Indy 250 week starts next week with Indy 250 qualifying. But first, we got one more race to do before we get to the big event of the season. It's the Kansas 80K here from Kansas. 34 laps of action around this mile-and-a-half racetrack in Kansas City, Kansas. And we're saying Kansas enough, so we're going to go ahead and say, Nathan Stapleton, what do you do if you're one of those guys in the back of the field who needs to work their way up front to get some good points in this race before the Indy 250? It's a little bit difficult to move your way from the back to the front, so what's the strategy for these guys to do in this short race to do so?
Like you said, it's very hard to pass if you start in the back. 3 rules for you. Aggressive, but smart. If you start in the back and know that passing is going to be tough, you want to be smart, but you also want to be aggressive to move the way up through the field and possibly have a shot at the win or at least a top 10. Points do matter a lot in the IndyCar series, no matter what. It's going to be really fun and a good race. Just have to be aggressive, but smart here at Kansas.
And that is going to be the name of the game for a lot of these guys here today. We're not expecting many wrecks at all. This race could easily go caution-free, especially considering there will be no pit stops in this 34-lap race, so it could be a very quick one here today. And we'll have to see how it all goes down. Justin Zajdel starts 3rd for this race. He is still our points leader. He has been leading in the championship standings since race number 2 at Phoenix, 187 points towards the championship. Now, he doesn't have the lead that he used to have, but it's still a very good lead. 32 points ahead of Davey Johnson and Richard Kinger, who are both tied for 2nd in the championship standings. Christopher Alphabee, the Auto Club winner from a couple months ago, is 53 points behind, and Nathan Faden has been kind of quiet, but he's been really good as well. He's 54 points behind in the number 19. I believe that's Edgar Barreto. Forget what car number Nathan Faden drives. I'm going to get my list here and get it right for you guys. It's the 21. I knew I was close to the 20 there. But Nathan Faden in number 21, 5th in the points coming into this race. He's been definitely doing a great job this season there for Ed Carpenter. Car's going to roll off here. Landon Lyons is on the pole here in the number 60 machine. Alongside him, it is Nathan Faden in that number 21. So, watch out for Faden possibly getting his first win of this season. Of the 5 guys in the top 5 in points, only Nathan Faden and Justin Zajdel have yet to get wins this season, and they're both starting top 3. Alongside Justin Zajdel, it's the number 6 machine of Christian Vargas. Row in number 3, that's the 14 of Jordan Lopez. He's alongside the 26, the 29, I should say, of Nick Smith. We got Jeremiah Earls in the 12 alongside Richard Kinger in the 13. Then it's Jonathan King in the 28, the Phoenix winner from earlier this season, alongside Christian Russell in the 4th. Top 10 starting positions here for the Kansas 80K. Everybody's rolling off here today. Davey Johnson's kind of deep in the field, starting in the number 66. And Christopher Alphabee in the number 18 is about midway through the field. The other 3 guys in the top 5 are all starting inside the top 10. So watch out for those guys possibly getting the race victory here today at Kansas. Landon Lyons and Nathan Faden on the front row. The Kansas 80K about to get underway from the Kansas Speedway. We're green in the Haas IndyCar Series. Justin Zajdel with a bonus point towards the championship as he leads lap 1 here at Kansas. He's got Christian Russell and Jeremiah Earls right behind him. And watch for these guys to spread out just a little bit here. Zajdel with the jump on the rest of the field. Are they going to go 3 wide for second? Yes, they will. Jeremiah Earls to the inside of Jordan Lopez and Landon Lyons. And they are all right there for second. But Justin Zajdel, our points leaders, pulling away here at the Kansas Speedway.
That's very important for Justin Zajdel. Comes in here as a point leader. He already got the bonus point. Now he's going to have a big gap so he can possibly lead the most laps in this race and maybe get another win.
We'll have to see. He has yet to win this season in that number 10 machine. But I'm sure he'd love to get one before he heads to Indianapolis. The Indy 250 is definitely a big one for all these guys. And a couple other guys who signed up on Wednesday night not too long ago. So congratulations to those guys who got in. However, this year in the Indy 250, we will have a bump day, so there will be guys who fail to qualify. Only 33 drivers will make the race. And that means nobody is safe, including the full-time guys. But we'll go over that a lot more next week when we get to Indy 250 qualifying. Right now, we got ourselves a great battle. Jeremiah Earls closing in on Justin Zajdel for the race lead here at Kansas. Richard Kingard and Jonathan King right behind him for 3rd and 4th.
The draft might be a issue, not a issue, but might become a factor, I should say, with these IndyCars. I'm not so sure because I've never done IndyCars at Kansas before, but it should be interesting.
It definitely looks like that draft is a factor. Richard Kingard closed right in on Jeremiah Earls. Earls unable to get to the inside of Zajdel as the 10 remains out front. He's led every lap so far here in the Kansas 80K. And looking pretty strong right now for Chip Ganassi Racing. To the inside for second, Richard Kingard, who won at, where was it? Riverside, that's where it was. He almost won Richmond as well. That's why he's as far up in the points as he is. Thing is, the guy who's ahead of him in the point standings is ahead of him on the racetrack as well, so he would actually lose points to the leader the way they're currently running, even though he's got a 3rd place run going for him right now. But Richard Kingard has definitely come on strong as of late in that number 13. Lucky number 13, Richard Kingard, looking to possibly get a championship here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Right behind him, it's Nick Smith in the 29. Nick Smith really hasn't been seen too much this season, but a great opportunity for him to possibly get a race victory. There goes Kingard to the inside of Earls. He can't get the inside to work, and Earls stays on the outside. Off of turn 2, that outside lane works pretty well for these guys, and you're going to see it throughout the course of this event. They might work that outside lane to stay in their respective positions. Jonathan King trying to get to the inside of his teammate Nick Smith, unable to do so. Nathan Faden, Marty Johnson's up here at the number 30 machine of Jaden Scott as well. Joe Rutkowski in a side-by-side battle between Dan Park and Keyshawn Richardson. That rounds out the top 10. Back to the race lead. They're all over Justin Zajdel. Jeremiah Earls closed in a little bit, but Kingard seems to have the faster race car, and he might get it here on the number 12.
Kingard, like you said, looks like he has a very fast race car. It's one thing to close up on the race leader, but it's a whole different thing to come out and make the pass on him.
Richard Kingard was able to close in on Jeremiah Earls and make the pass on him. We'll have to see if he closes in on Zajdel, or Jeremiah Earls will get back to the inside of him. Watch out for Jonathan King here as well, Marty Johnson. Now, Johnson's kind of the second banana at Chip Ganassi Racing, because if you know, he's teammates with Justin Zajdel, but Justin Zajdel has been the story of this season, dominating him in the point standings all season. But there's also Marty Johnson at Chip Ganassi Racing, and he wants to prove himself as well. He's been in this series for longer than Justin Zajdel, and not too many guys in this series have been around that long, so Marty definitely wants to get his first win of the season on Napa Fan, and we'll have to see if the NOFSRL president can get it done. He just moved himself inside the top 5, so watch out for Marty Johnson as this race goes along. He might have a shot at the race victory.
Very true. I raced in this series for like 2 or 3 seasons, and I never won, but I came also close. With these IndyCars, they are very tough to get around, but veteran experience is key, and as you see with Marty Johnson, he is in 5th right now.
Yeah, Justin Zajdel is also a veteran in this series. His rookie season was last year, and he has definitely come on very strong this season. Once again, a battle for second. Will Kingard finally get it? Looks like he will clear the number 12 for the second position. Keep on battling for second, and that's what's allowed Justin Zajdel to pull away with this thing so far, but that does not mean he's going to pull away with this race victory. They just got to close into him and make a pass like they've been making for second. The thing is, they keep on battling for second, slowing those guys down and allowing the 10 to pull away.
Yeah, very true. The more they are going side by side, the more that first place is going to get ahead of everyone else.
Like you said, draft will be a factor in this race, so they're going to close right back in. You see Richard Kinghart, now that he's finally clear of Jeremiah Earls and clear of the rest of the field here, he's got an opportunity to close in on the back of Justin Zajdel. Take a look through the rest of the field here. Still the same top 10. One guy moving his way in the picture is Cody Smart here. He just moved himself inside the top 10. Dan Parks out of the way there. And you got, that is Jordan, no, that is Christian Russell in the number 4. I believe I referred to Jordan Lopez as Christian Russell at the beginning of the race there. Did not mean to do that, but their cars look very similar, and it's hard to read the numbers sometimes. There's our last winner here in the Haas IndyCar Series, Angel Olvera in the number 26. Our pole sitter, Landon Lyons, fell way back midway through the field in the number 60. Then Christian Vargas there, Tyler O'Reilly, Colton Yo. There's Jordan Lopez. He's fallen way back. Al Lagacy, Christopher Alphaby not doing a good job here today. And you got Noah Clifton, number 27. Going to the inside of Jose Mills, Dion Moon, Richmond winner. 32, Julio Caesar. Audra Baranowskis, Davey Johnson, who's up there in the points. He's going to fall back if he finishes where he is. Micah Knapp's deep in the field, Agar Barreto. The last guy here is Thomas Troxel in the number 17, but it is still Justin Zajdel leading every lap so far. If he gets this lap here, he's going to lead the most laps here in the Kansas 80K and gain 2 more bonus points towards the championship here in the Haas IndyCar Series.
And bonus points are very important, and track position has mattered so much. The top 10 has stayed the same, but here comes Zajdel's teammate, Molly Johnson, trying to make it a Chip Ganassi Racing 1-2 here at Kansas.
He's got the inside on Richard Kinghart through turns 3 and 4. Inside works a little bit better through those corners right there, turns 3 and 4. And he's got the advantage, and he will clear Richard Kinghart. Here comes Jonathan King in the number 28. King's been around on NapaFan for quite a while as well. I know he'd love to get another race victory here on NapaFan. If he were to get the win, be his second win of the season here in the Haas IndyCar Series. He won at Phoenix earlier on in early March. But now, Marty Johnson closing in on Justin Zajdel, and you can imagine they got very similar race cars, so watch out for that 9 to possibly close in on the 10 here. Kinghart was unable to do so, but will Zajdel's teammate put it to the test and possibly get around the 10 of Justin Zajdel? What do you think, Nathan? Think Marty Johnson has a shot at this race victory?
I honestly think so. Chip Ganassi Racing has shown speed in that number 10, and here today they are finally showing speed in the number 9. And trust me, when the whole organization is on fire, that is very dangerous. And as we see right now, both Chip Ganassi Racing cars are 1-2 here at Kansas.
Marty Johnson does not have any threat behind him with Richard Kinghart. Jeremiah Earls is back up to the 4th position. And then we got Joe Rutkowski on the verge of a top 5 right here as he almost got to the inside of Jonathan King. He was unable to do so. Here comes Keyshawn Richardson moving his way through the field a little bit. He's to the inside of Nick Smith, Nathan Faden, and Jaden Scott side by side for the 9th position. Back up front, there goes Marty Johnson to the inside of Justin Zajdel, and I think he's finally going to get it here. Marty Johnson with a very fast race car. He's got the lead on the number 10. And all it takes for us to go through the back of the field and we have a change for the race lead. That's all it takes every single time. But Marty Johnson, new leader here at Kansas. He gets around his teammate Justin Zajdel. Will Marty Johnson get his first win of 2019 on NapaFan? Or will Zajdel finally get that first win after dominating in the point standings? He's back to the inside for the race lead.
A great battle between Chip Ganassi Racing teammates, and Zajdel looks like he might take the race lead away, and he will from his teammate.
He's got the inside again.
But here comes company with the 13 and I believe the number 12.
That is the 12 of Jeremiah Earls running in the 4th position. They close in tremendously as they battled for the race lead. Zajdel is back out front. It's not going to be a clean sweep for him. Marty Johnson got 1 lap led. Do you think, this is a little bit of an odd theory here, but they are teammates. Do you think Zajdel was letting Johnson go by so he can get a bonus point towards the championship?
Very possible.
Oh, here comes Johnson, though. He wants the race win. Got a really good run through the corner. To the inside once again for the race lead. He's got some drafting help there from Richard Kinghart. And Kinghart is not out of this one either. That number 13's been strong as of late. Got the win at Riverside. Got the win. Did not get the win at Richmond. Was really close to getting the win at Richmond. And he's going to push Marty Johnson back to the lead. We have ourselves only 9 laps to go in the Kansas 80K here at the Kansas Speedway. Marty Johnson back out front as Zajdel's going to fall back to 4th. Here comes Jeremiah Earls. He'll remain in the 3rd position in the number 10.
With under 10 laps to go, now coming to 8 to go, all team orders, all team strategy that Chip Ganassi Racing had goes out the window. And we saw that right there. And Marty Johnson back out front here at Kansas.
Marty Johnson looking to grab his first win of 2019. It's been a little while since Johnson's won on Napa Fan, I think. Can't remember the last time he did get a W, but he's looking pretty strong right now here at Kansas. Zajdel wants to get back around Kinghart and have a shot at his teammate. It's been a Chip Ganassi Racing day here at the Kansas Speedway. But will it be one of the Chip Ganassi guys getting the race victory? Watch out for the Penske guys at Jeremiah Earls, Joe Rakowski, and Keyshawn Richardson. They're all back up here inside the top 6, right on 2nd place and the race leader. Then you have Jonathan King, Dan Park, and James Scott with Landon Lyons, who moved himself back inside the top 10. Nice rebound there for pole sitter, who fell back early on. Johnson still out front. 6 laps to go at Kansas.
Chip Ganassi 1-2, but it's flipped of what it was last time. Can Zajdel close in on his teammate Marty Johnson, or will Johnson finally get his first win on Napa Fan of 2019, or Zajdel finally get his first win of the Haas IndyCar Series of 2019?
They both have a lot going for them right now. They both have a lot of motivation to get this race victory. Been a long time since Marty Johnson's won. And with Justin Zajdel being the points leader, being the dominant guy he has been, he wants to get a race victory and show why he is one of those dominant guys. Will we get 3 wide? Jeremiah Earls almost went to the inside of Kinghart and Zajdel. Zajdel's going to fall back again. Kinghart with a great run in the number 13. He closed in quite a bit there on Marty Johnson to the inside. 4 laps to go. He's going to drive right by him, or will he? Side by side for the race lead. Johnson on the outside getting the run. Will Johnson hold on in the outside lane through turns 3 and 4? It's going to be tight right here. Kinghart to the inside of him. They remain side by side here at Kansas, but Kinghart's going to get a lap lead. And here comes the number 12 of Jeremiah Earls. They are closer to the race leader than they have been this entire race. And Marty Johnson falling back on the outside. Richard Kinghart pulling away in the number 13.
Cars are starting to fall off a little bit. Sure, there's no pit stops, but there's still tire wear.
It's not over yet for Marty Johnson. He got around Jeremiah Earls. He will not have to contend with him anymore, but he only has 2 laps left to catch back up to Richard Kinghart. Will he do so here at Kansas, or will Kinghart finally get the race win? What am I saying? He already won this season. Will he just get another race victory? We'll have to see. Marty Johnson's closing in fast. That number 9 is fast. We'll have to see if Johnson can do it. White flag in the air here in the Kansas 80K for Richard Kinghart in the number 13.
Can Johnson get to the inside? It's going to be very close. He needs to get a draft, though, if he wants to have any shot at it going into turn number 3.
Keyshawn Richardson going for 2nd on the final lap. That's going to seal it most likely for Marty Johnson. And Richard Kinghart, a late pass for the race lead. It's going to give him his 2nd win of the season. Kinghart's going to win the Kansas 80K here in the Haas IndyCar Series. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered for the guy trying to catch in on Justin Zajdel. He's going to gain some points there on our points leader. and he's going to have a shot at being the points leader once we exit Indy 250 week, heading into Texas. So it's going to get interesting for this championship. That's a tough break for Marty Johnson. Thought he had this one in the bag, but Kinghart came out of nowhere. You know, Kinghart did not come out of nowhere. He was up there in the top 5 the entire day. He waited patiently and then made the pass when it mattered and did not look back. And Richard Kinghart gets his second win of the season and his second win in 4 races here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Watch out for Richard Kinghart this season. He is going to be a threat for this championship.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
The official standings right there. Richard Kinghart, the race winner. Keyshawn Richardson moved up and grabbed second from Marty Johnson at the end there. Jeremiah Earls and the dominant guy of the day, Justin Zajdel, fall back to 5th. That's probably Zajdel's 5th top 5 of the season. He will remain the points leader, but Richard Kinghart's going to be pretty close to him. Joe Rutkowski, Cody Smart, Jaden Scott, Landon Lyons, and Jonathan King, the top 10 here at Kansas, and everybody finished on the lead lap and within 5 seconds of each other. No wrecks, no cautions. That was a pretty fun race right there. And see all the guys who finished at the back of the field, Igor Bretto and Thomas Troxel at the end there. But it's Richard Kinghart's day here at Kansas. How about that race victory there by the number 13 team?
Very impressive job from Ed Conway to third call for that team. To be honest, I didn't know of how well they would do with having that 13 call, but they proved me wrong. 2 wins in 4 races, and just have to wait and see on the points, but Kinghart might be a threat to Zajdel for this championship.
It's definitely going to be a close one as the season rolls on. We're not even halfway through the season yet. We will be after the Indianapolis 250. But now, these guys are focusing on the Indianapolis 250. They're not focusing on the championship anymore. And I will say, Indianapolis 250 will not be a double points race this year. It will just be a single points race like the rest of them. So, they're not in it for the points in this one. They're in it to win the most prestige race on Napa Fan. The Indianapolis 250, and what a huge opportunity for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are relatively new. They're not experienced veterans. We don't have Jesse Turner, Matt Dalio in this series. They're most likely not going to be in the race. But these guys, most of them, will be, and for the first time, we will have a bump day, so not everybody in the Haas IndyCar Series full-time is going to be in the race. There might be a couple who fail to qualify. It's going to be really, really interesting. Next weekend, we have Indianapolis 250 qualifications for the first time ever on Napa Fan. We're going to be doing single car qualifying, and this is how it's going to go down. All 35 or 36, depending on how many I put in there. All of the cars who are going to attempt the Indianapolis 250 will qualify on Saturday, and they will get 1 lap to put a time down, and they will be ordered from the fastest to the slowest. The top 9 fastest guys will re-qualify again on Sunday and go for the pole. The bottom 9 fastest guys, or should I say the bottom 9 slowest guys, they will battle out to see who gets eliminated. The slowest 2 or 3 will fail to make the show in the last 9 shootouts. So we're going to have the last 9 and the fast 9 on Sunday. After Saturday, there'll be 2 days of qualifications, and then that's how we will set the starting lineup for the Indianapolis 250, and then of course the Indianapolis 250 2 weeks from now, Saturday, May 24th at noon Eastern Time, right here on Napa Fan. But that's how it's going to go down for Indy 250 week. Tomorrow morning, we got ourselves the Code 3 Associates 400 from Kansas in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We're back with some Chick-fil-A Cup Series action, and I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a good one here from the Kansas Speedway. But anyways, congratulations to Richard Kinghart. Here are the point standings for the Haas IndyCar Series after 7 races, and on behalf of Nathan Stapleton, it's going to be May. Indy 250 week coming up next week. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to get it all started for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Get knocked down over 7,000 times. Easy choice, still